This is definitely our biggest case.
What I care about is my son.
He didn't check on me. He didn't call me.
I definitely think this case has suspicion.
But the circumstances didn't make sense to me. That's why he didn't come back yet.
I have, in 11 years, never seen a case like this.
This is what the girlfriend told me, which we see that her stories are not consistent.
She's definitely a subject of interest. I do believe that she, and I do believe that there might be a few others, know what happened.
There is no communication at this point. We have not got an update.
Kind of upsetting because I feel like they're not helping at all.
A case like this, it may look like we're not putting everything into it.
We don't know where to go from here. I just want to have my baby home and safe with us where he belongs. My name is Terry Barnes, and I'm from San Francisco. I gave birth to Devonte in San Francisco. We both grew up in the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood of San Francisco. He's a church kid, you know, sang in the choir. He loves to sing and dance.
For everything you blessed me with, my life I offer. Even through my weary days, I still give you the praise. Trying to do what's right so I can really see your face.
Devonte was a leader. All his friends wanted to be like him. He was always the kid that, you know, invited a friend to church with him.
It's been a long time coming, but I know a change won't come. Oh, yes, it will. It's me too. Come on, keep going. But I'm afraid.
Growing up with Devonte as my big brother, he's always been like a father figure to me. He was the one who had that talk with me about the birds and the bees. You know, he had those talks about how to defend myself and always told me I could be anything. When we were younger, he told me that we were royalty. He said, you're supposed to look at yourself that way. We are royal. And I still today keep that with me. I've started a business in his honor that I have created. It's called Your Highness. And it comes from that royalty that he has instilled in me. And I've grown up always holding my head held high because of the serious talks he will have. And everybody knows when Devonte is serious about something, he's going to talk to you all day until he gets it through.
So he thinks you got
it. Yeah. You might tell him over and over, I understand, and he's going to continue to talk until he feels that message is reciprocated. So I definitely miss those talks from him.
Devonte don't know what you want to say. Jump to the sky.
According to the Mount Shasta Police Department, Davohnte was last seen and heard from on May 5th of 2020, but his girlfriend officially reported him missing on May 7th, 2 days later. Although she is a person of interest, we're not revealing her identity because she has not been charged as a suspect or been publicly named by the department.
Davohnte is so amazing, arriving right on time, God's timing.
Terry says Davohnte and a girlfriend met during the Outside Lands Music and Arts Festival in San Francisco in August of 2019. So they were together for about 9 months up until he went missing.
Long story short, it was like, ooh, baby.
The things that he told me about her during my investigation were mostly lies. You know, like, and they were silly lies, like who she was married to, who her actual husband was. She was living a triple life, not a double life. She had a husband, a girlfriend, and then Devonte.
My brother and I spoke very often, briefly, because I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada at the time that he went missing, but I was visiting home in California. So I actually seen him about 3 days before he went missing. And he was calling me and saying, sister, I need to see you. Where are you? I got something for you. And he had got me like a little thunderbolt necklace that he was just so excited to give to me. And yeah, he's a family man. He doesn't allow us to travel or anything without checking in with him. I was, planning to go back home to Las Vegas, and he didn't check on me. He didn't call me to make sure that everything was all right. So that's not like him. He always makes sure he goes out of his way to let his family knows that he loves them, especially the ladies in his life.
The time from when Davohnte was in the Bay Area to being in Mount Shasta is very important to understand. On May 3rd of 2020, Devonte's family said he was in San Francisco at a family member's funeral. Terry was out of town, so she spoke to her son over the phone. Later that day, Terry said her son and a girlfriend was at Lake Tahoe, about 4 hours away.
And I asked him what he was doing there, and he just kind of, chuckled. It's like he didn't really want to answer.
When did you know that he went up to Mount Shasta? When did you find that out?
I found that out when they called me and told me he was missing. I didn't know he went to Mount Shasta.
According to the police report, it says that Devonte had no working cell phone, but we know that he spoke to his mom at Lake Tahoe 2 days before he went missing. So Devonte not having a working phone from the time he was at Lake Tahoe to Mount Shasta, a city he's never been before, according to his family, are details that are hard to ignore.
That's a place that she goes to because of her beliefs with the universe and everything. She feels that it's a spiritual place, so she brought him there.
But that's the thing right there. She tells. Did she tell you that? Because she told us that she never been there before, and the way she know that town, the ins and the outs, the back roads, and the town next to it. There's no way you never been there before.
And that is true. She did not confirm that, but our family doing our own investigating up there. There was people who've known her that were there, that seen her before there and know her by name. And it is a small town, but the way she was very familiar with a town that's so intimate shows to me she had to know, she had to be familiar with it and been there before.
When you found out he was missing, how did you find that out? Did the girlfriend reach out to you, or was it the police department?
His girlfriend called me, and she also called my brother. So she felt the need to contact us, but not his mother. I talked to her that night. It was late at night. And she told me that she did go to the police station, but they thought, oh, he got into a fight. He probably just trying to get away from you and walked off for a minute. So she said she left and didn't file the report. Knowingly now, a lot of people think you have to be missing for 48 hours or something to file a police report, and you don't. As soon as somebody is missing, you can actually report them missing. So I told her to, first thing in the morning, go file that police report. So that's when she did.
When you told her that, did you think something was off at that time? Did you think, or did you not really think about that much, considering the circumstances?
I did, but I also had a story that she fed me, that they got into this fight and he walked off, which I know my brother to walk off and cool his head. He's a walker, he doesn't mind going for a little walk to clear his head and come back. But the circumstances didn't make sense to me, that why he didn't come back yet, and it was already nighttime.
I'm Sergeant Devon Pretty, and I'm with the Mount Shasta Police Department. I was born and raised here. It's a very small city in Northern California. We're in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by woods. And the police department is a small police department. A lot of people don't realize that it's usually a one-officer town. We work 12-hour shifts, so usually for that 12 hours, you'll have one officer patrolling the entire city. Summertime, we get a lot of people that come up here for the wildlife, the water, the resources that are up here. So it can get very busy in the summertime. Wintertime, it can slow down, but we do get a lot of snow. So we pick up more on car accidents. Domestic violence picks up more in the wintertime when people are snowed in. So in general, when we receive a missing persons case, the officer is going to gather as much information from the reporting party, and we'll kind of get, descriptions, things like that, where they could be going, where they might be going. A lot of our missing persons are voluntarily missing adults, so they choose to go missing or to go disappear for a while. Once we gather all their information, we will enter it into a national-wide database that any officer encounters that missing person, it'll give us a hit, and we can just, make contact. Oh, he decided to go on vacation. Okay, well, he needs to call his wife or his girlfriend and let them know because they're worried and presume he's missing. Usually within 24 hours, you can just tell by whoever's reporting the person missing. You can just tell by their demeanor and how they're acting that how serious the missing person's case is. Phone checks, they're not answering their phone. We can't ping their phone. Their bank statements, there's no activity on their bank cards, things like that, is when you can really see that, okay, we need to move forward and get some more resources in here.
Do you get missing person cases often with the department?
We do. We do get missing person cases often. A lot of them are just people that want to just go away for a little bit, and then we get a hold of them or find them, and we just tell them to reach out to whoever's calling them in for missing.
We demand something done. So that's why we're out here. 3 years today, our son has been missing. If he was a white kid...
Can you tell me about the first time that you learned of the Davohnte Morgan case?
I actually was the graveyard officer that night. So when it was getting reported, I was actually just getting off work. So I didn't really know anything about it till that next night when I came into work and heard from the day shift officer who took the case, kind of what was going on, that he was up here with his girlfriend when he was last seen. And within the following days, that's when we don't have CCTV in Mount Shasta, but we do have some small mom and pop shops that do have video surveillance. And that's the first places we go. And that's kind of where we were able to establish his timeline and where he was last seen.
Breaking down the last time Davohnte was seen, which was on May 5th of 2020. According to the police report, Devonte and his girlfriend spent the night at a local hotel on May 4th. The girlfriend shared they had a fight that night, and Morgan went on a walk the next morning. About 2 weeks later, the Mount Shasta Police Department publicly shared this surveillance video of Morgan walking by its station on the 5th. But X1 Media learned that the department reviewed multiple different cameras that captured Devonte walking around the city that day, and it has been viewed by the public until now.
Following up with the video surveillance that we did have access to, and kind of putting a timeline of where he was last seen and where he could go, pinging his phone, following up with his bank records, when his card was last used. We know the last time he purchased something and where that was at, and then just gone.
Did you notice anything unusual when looking all that over?
No. I found his girlfriend unusual, and reviewing some of the interviews and stuff, she struck me as odd and not very caring or too worried about Devonte. Whereas his family, when we talked to them, the mom and everything like that, they were extremely worried, and this was uncharacteristic of Devonte.
I believe in you, Devonte. I've always said that to you, and boo, it's true. Boo, it's true, truly amazing that I can sing and you can ring, ring, ring my bell. Ding dong, it's time. It's time to rhyme about Davohnte. Arrive in time.
So the interviews that I've reviewed and watched, I mean, she's all over the place. A lot of it doesn't make sense. A lot of it feels very mystical, or she had visions, just very weird and not typical of someone who's looking for someone. I definitely think this case has suspicion. We last followed up with her. We actually drove down to San Francisco and re-interviewed her, and we're not able to obtain anything more from her.
When did you go down there?
Probably 2.5 years ago.
People are allowed to go for a walk and return. Now, he went for a walk. He hasn't returned yet.
On her girlfriend's social media account, she posted a video of a piece of paper with several names on it, and it's titled The Kidnapping of Davohnte. But police never even at the least hinted that he could have been kidnapped. We discovered this video after our interview with Sergeant Pretty. We reached out to him for a follow-up comment about it, and we haven't heard back yet.
We would do follow-up interviews if anything were to come up. We do follow on social media because she has made some posts on social media and stuff. So we're constantly reviewing and just waiting for that one piece of the puzzle to come up. I do believe she knows something, and I do believe one day we will get enough information to where we can re-interview her and get that one piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so why don't bring her up on other charges? You know, she has done other things to us. You know, she has harassed us.
She's harassed our family. She's pretended to be members of our family. She actually messaged a few people pretending to be Davohnte. One of my close friends, who's like a sister to me, that we grew up, you know, like Devonte's sister. She wasn't close to the case about what was going on with Devonte. So when she got a message from him, she thought it was actually from him and not his girlfriend. But she was trying to lure her to meet up. She was saying, let's meet up and stuff like that. And it's very scary. If you're grieving your boyfriend like we are, why are you harassing his family and trying to set us up?
She never acted like she was distraught. Like, if you love this man, this is your honey, you know, she
just kept saying, he's going to come back.
Yeah.
It's kind of nonchalant. Oh, Devonte's okay. Watch, you'll see.
Let me clear my throat, my divine king. Davohnte, Davohnte, where are you, Davohnte?
Do you feel as though that you and your department are handling this case in the best way that you can?
100%. I have in 11 years never seen a case like this. It's unfortunate that he has not been found and some of the questions have not been answered. But we have, especially a small department, we don't have forensic teams, we don't have detective units. The officer on duty is the detective if he were to get a big case. So for what we have and the officers that we had at the time, I think we went above and beyond, and with help with the sheriff department and everyone like that.
When y'all were going up through Mount Shasta, what was the energy like there? And then how have you been communicating with Mount Shasta Police?
So my personal experience, me, Terry by herself, I have not experienced any racism or negativity or anything like that until later on, till like our last couple of trips up there. But others, on the other hand, they saw Confederate flags. Somebody threw a deer foot at my cousin's head.
That's why we were so passionate about getting that police assistance, because we weren't familiar with that area and we were scared, you know. That is a town that I think is 1% Black population. So you got to imagine going on somebody's property, knocking on their door. We're scared for our lives, and we were threatened a lot. We were told to get out of here before we got shot. There were jokes made about what could have possibly happened to my brother Davohnte. You know, someone even said, okay, if we find him, we're gonna, you know, we'll tie him up and keep him, you know, like, it was a joke or something. And it was, to us, it was like a movie. You know, we see this kind of thing all the time, but when you're there and you're actually searching through the woods and you see a pile of leaves and your heart drops, because when you move those leaves, you're afraid that that's your loved one. You know, we shouldn't have had to do all of that on our own. We should have had the professional help to go out there and get those answers.
Or have they been helpful at all?
None.
No,
Nope.
ever since I'd say a few months into the investigation, they changed the lead lieutenant, and then I stopped getting updates. I would request daily or weekly updates. I would email them. I would have everyone email them, call, and get an update, because being that my number was the first number on the flyer, before we had an official flyer, I got a lot of messages and calls about leads. So every time I got a lead, I would communicate that with Mount Shasta Police Department. And a lot of times they'll say, oh, something like that, or just laugh it off, or really not take it seriously. So me and my cousins and my family would go follow those leads, you know, and some of them, if we had that police presence, probably would have went further. And some of them never got followed up on, because with our resources, there's only so much that we can do. So definitely there is no communication at this point. We have not got an update. They were audited, but in the last 2 years, I would say, we have not got an update. We have not got a phone call, a letter, or anything from Mount Shasta.
Terry hired a private investigator to help with the case. Davonte's family also went up to Mount Shasta on May 8th, 2020. That's one day after Davonte's girlfriend reported him missing and 3 days after he was last seen. His cousin shared this video of them speaking with the girlfriend at the motel her and Devonte stayed at.
We don't know nobody out here.
You didn't see him interact with
No. When we came on the 4th, he was with me the whole time. When we were here on Monday, he was with me the whole time. He wasn't with anybody else.
Good.
He wasn't with anybody else. He was with me the entire time. The entire time up until 5 at 9:30, until he walked down. Then when he was probably out and about, that's when at the end of the night, somebody probably saw him. We get a sense that he may have frequented or be with a person that is in the dark places of Shasta. So we gotta.
Where are the dark places?
Just the people that car that he's hanging around with, possibly.
What car?
Just the RV. Just the RV that he's in or possibly befriended by. We don't know if the person that he's with.
Is it like a spiritual type of thing?
What is he using?
Oh.
So who is the person that he's with?
We don't know. The mediums are just sensing that he's with a person that he's befriended or they befriended, and they're both using together. Like it could just be
a binge or something.
Yeah.
So is that the information the police have?
No, this is my mediumship. So the police is just boots on the ground, not getting surveillance, not doing. They're just doing the minimal.
Also coming out of one of the rooms is a man who the girlfriend says helps with search and rescues.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back up to that lake, man. I was up there last night, and I've heard a lot of things about it, and I have a good feeling. I've done these search parties before. I think we can find him. I have his face memorized in my head. I remember the day I got here, I was looking down because I was I was kind of sad, and I was just looking down at the ground. His 49ers, his sandals. Were they like the Jordan-esque ones, the ones with the logo on the top? I saw those. I saw those on the first day I came here, and that was Cinco de Mayo. Okay. You guys have to realize something.
You saw them where? In a vision?
If you went up a hill, there's so many factors that we have to play in, because I don't know this area. I've studied the maps. I've studied everything about them. That's my biggest clue right now is Castle Lake. That's the only clue I have right now. I met her yesterday. Yeah, I don't really know her, but I've conducted these parties before, so I want to help.
I feel it's enough evidence to get her on something if they watch all her videos. You know, all that they claim they were watching. They told us she had 18 social media accounts. and they were watching closely. No way are they watching closely, because pretty much she's contradicting herself.
They know all of our whereabouts.
No way.
Single meter.
In another
at every
video that the
single
girlfriend
stop.
posted on her social media account, she recorded a conversation with someone who seemingly details their involvement in Davonte's disappearance.
What are you trying to help me with? You know what I can't figure out was how
on the situation.
how did you
in with Ponte?
How did you, when did you first sell your soul to the devil?
When I met you.
No, your soul was sold to the devil way before you met me. So when was the first time? You probably sold your soul.
No, when I met you.
Oh, when was the
When
first
I met
time was
you,
that?
and we tried to. When I met you, and we went and hid Devonte's phone and stuff. Yeah, that's when I sold myself to the devil. When I was trying to help you out to cover up some.
And what day was that?
What night was that?
I don't know. What night was that?
We had to cover up a whole bunch of man.
What covering up?
And we were driving for a few hours.
Yeah, I have my Google timeline, and so does the Department of Justice.
There is concern because her story was they got into an argument and she last saw him walking down the boulevard, which we can see on videotape clearly, him walking down the boulevard. But then after several days where he just disappears, talking to his brother and his family, this is not Davohnte. So something is not matching in that timeline. I do believe that she, and I do believe that there might be a few others, know what happened and they just are not speaking right now.
We demand something done. So that's why we're out here. 3 years today, our son has been missing. If he was a white kid, there would have been a manhunt for him. But for a black kid, no. We have no justice, no answers. 3 years. So that's why we're out here in front of the state capitol demanding something be done about it. I'm sorry to disrupt your day. We don't mean to inconvenience you in any way, but we've been inconvenienced for the last 3 years by no answers, no justice, no effort on the behalf of police or any officials to find our missing son.
Talking to Davonte's family and just knowing how they feel and have explained to us who Davohnte is, that's where the suspicion is. He's definitely not voluntarily missing as an adult. There's suspicion to it.
Do you think that you may need more funding, extra help from the sheriff's office? Kind of what do you think would help you with this investigation?
Funding's the biggest thing. I mean, like I said before, we're like a one officer town. So the day that Devonte went missing, the officer that took that case was not only the investigator for that case, but he's still the patrol officer for that day. So doing interviews and then going and handling a petty theft, like he still has his duties for that day. So funding is the biggest thing. More bodies to put someone strictly on the Davohnte case and not worrying about the patrol assignments for the day. We had leads that he was seen spotted in Northern California, just north of us. We've had leads where he was out just east of us, just in the middle of nowhere. We've had leads from all kinds of people. I can't say who, but we've definitely had a lot of leads, especially in the last year. We've probably had quite a few good leads that we've followed up on. The biggest thing is people don't realize how small Mount Shasta is and our resources. Like, we don't have bloodhounds, we don't have helicopters. So when we take a case like this, it may look like we're not putting everything into it, but we are literally doing everything we can with the manpower we have. We're just such a small community in very Northern California.
What would be your message to Davonte's family right now?
That I want Davonte's family to know that I want to find Davohnte. I think about him daily. I wish we had more resources. I wish we had more leads. I want Davonte's family to know that we are not stopping. It's not going to be a cold case. Like I said, Davonte's family, I mean, this is sitting on my desk and we look at it every day.
Why do you feel like the police department or nobody in that area is taking your family serious?
Because we're Black. I'm sorry. I hate to say it like that, because I am now a missing person advocate. And, you know, it does hurt to hear for my brothers and sisters to hear that, you know, certain cases don't get the recognition, because if they were white, it would be a different situation. One thing in particular that I think about all the time is how they had to get a warrant to ping his phone. They get the warrant, they claim they pinged the wrong phone. They pinged the girlfriend's phone and not his phone, and that they were going to take another 6 months to get a warrant to ping her phone at that to ping his actual phone. At that moment, I realized that me personally, I was done with them, you know, and you know, now every time I've dealt with them, it's just been third party, you know, through someone else.
What's you and your family's next steps to get something done?
We don't know where to go from here. At this moment, I think we need a lot of help. We don't have no PI anymore. You know, she was a famous PI, you know, we could only, you know, she was expensive, you know, and after that, we have not found a PI that would even take the case. What I care about is my son. That's all I want to know.
What is your message to the community?
Please help us find my son. You know, what if it was your child? You know, I'm a strong believer in it takes a village. I just want to have my baby home and safe with us where he belongs.